think we're live, right? Okay, cool. So, hey everyone, and welcome to the RegiCast. You guys already know what it is. I'm tired of re-explaining it, but I guess I'm gonna do it again. Joining me today is Minna. Minna, how are you?
Busy drinking my coffee.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so feel free to drink your coffee.
Yeah,
Mina
I'm fine,
is
thanks.
yeah, no problem. I'm telling you guys right now, Mina is like top tier FI. Okay, I'm starting with that. I'm going out of character. Mina is top tier FI for me. She's been there for me through a lot of shit. She's seen me be ridiculously reckless, and she's helped me through that. And she, super non-judgmental as well. She's like one of the best human beings I've met in my life. Like, not even exaggerating that. Now, because of that, if I see you guys talking shit in the live chat about her, I'm just gonna fucking ignore you. Okay, let's just start with that. I've already decided in my FI, you guys don't even matter that much. So if I see you guys simping or whatever in the comments, I'm over it. Okay, she deserves better than that. Okay, now with that being said, so the RegiCast, which is my podcast, which I'm still very proud of, I'm really happy I have it. The goal of it is really to have meaningful and enjoyable conversations. That's literally it, guys. This is not fancy. So, with that being said, everyone I've been talking to, I've met through the objective personality community. Objective personality. Now, Mina might debate this, and we might get into this. My understanding of what the objective personality community is, or objective personality is trying to do, is it's trying to make the Myers-Briggs typology indicator just attractive to the scientific community. That's what their explicit goal is. Okay, the way they're going about that or claiming to go about that is they're trying to do double blind testing, both themselves and encouraging it. And what a double blind test is you take two people, don't have them interact with each other, whether it's virtual or just in separate rooms, whatever, and see if they can get the same type for any given individual consistently over time. Once you get to a level of statistical significance, then they're going to pass it on and try and basically market it to the scientific community to get into the machine learning, AI, genetics, all that fun stuff. So, but what I will say for anyone who's new, because I do know there's some new people joining me, this is not neuroscientific. This is not scientific yet. Okay, these are pure frameworks from two people in Oregon. Okay, but there have been a lot of people who have found it meaningful enough to create communities around. So there's a Facebook community, a Discord community, a YouTube community, such as this channel. Um, so if you guys don't know the terminology, so we might use the terminology. Just knowing Mina, though, I'm probably not going to use it too much. But if we get into terminology and you don't know what an observer is, or you don't know what FI is, right? There's some links in the description to help you. Okay, so there's the beginner series from the founders, text to read, video to watch, as well as a YouTube playlist of 5 to 10 minute videos I've curated for you guys. I'm I'm tired of saying this. Put it on 1.5 speed if you're annoyed. I'm trying to tell you. Just go in the car. It's a 2 minute video, okay, for you. So that's all I'm saying about that. Now, Mia cannot see the live chat because she's on mobile, but she doesn't want to fucking see it. So get over it. So I'm gonna have to be her filter. Okay, I'm just gonna have to be your filter, and just knowing how deep in my FI, I'm gonna filter out a lot of you fuckers. I'm sorry. Okay. So what that means though is as I'm going through, I can see all of your comments, okay, your live chats. If I find it meaningful, I will have to basically tell it to Mina, but I will also throw it up on the screen for you guys to see. Okay. Um, but again, so if you want a chance of even getting your comment up here, don't say stupid shit. I'm sorry. Okay, just don't do that. All right.
Say
Next.
all this stupid shit. I'm not going to be bothered.
Yeah, I will. I will. Okay.
I'm going to sabotage Reggie.
Anyway.
Hello,
Next,
darling.
this is probably the most important part of my announcements. Y'all can still catch these hands and Smash Brothers. Guys, this is my I don't sleep process. I go to sleep at 2 a.m. The way I decompress from my problems is I body people online. Okay? Come help me. Okay? Come help me do my little session by letting me disrespect you with shirtless Sephiroth online in Super Smash Brothers. Also, game night is coming up, guys. It's actually happening. actually, thanks to me, thanks to some other people with OI. Okay, I have no OI in my system. So Anissa, Emily, as well as Kim, truly appreciate them. We're putting together a game night. We're gonna do Among Us. We also might have Jackbox Party as a backup, just in case the server's fucking up. So actually, if you guys could let me know or let us know what Jackbox Party games you'd prefer playing, and we'll set that up as an alternative, and as well as for future game nights. Okay, but that is going to be Saturday, the February 6th. Eastern time. That's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, 12 to 3 Eastern time. So in GMT, that's between 8, and then 6 through 9 Eastern time. Okay, so we're trying to capture the European audience.
Just
and
go
the
to
American
Facebook.
audience.
You can see the times there. People do your own research.
Not everyone I know is going to be on Facebook. So like I have friends.
Join it.
Oh my god, no! Don't listen to her. I got you guys. Okay, so if you guys aren't on the Facebooks, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll give you guys the link. I'll get you the link. It's okay. All right. That should be it. Minna, again, I can't express enough. I'm truly grateful that you're here. So welcome.
You should be.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it. Is that your gag? We should use that.
I came in prepared, darling.
Oh my god. It's so funny. Yeah. Minna messes with me because I don't know how to take a joke at all. I'm too info dumb, guys. Everything has to be a big fucking deal with me. Okay? She knows this. Now,
I know you. It's fine.
All right. As is tradition. With that echo. We're gonna get into the first impressions, okay? I'm especially after yesterday, I know I have a reputation for being really disrespectful. It's just is what it is. But I want to hear your take. So I want to hear what your first impression was, and then I'll share my first impression.
First impression of you?
Yeah.
You were one of the dudes on Discord whose name I couldn't remember, and I had no idea who was talking. And it took me like 2 weeks to actually get on track that there was a guy called Reggie who was that specific bubblehead. Welcome to Feminism 3.
Just hurts my feelings right there. It's okay.
I'm sorry, but that was you and vast majority of people.
No, I know. I'm teasing you. Now, I don't remember how we met through the Discord. I don't remember my first impression of you on the Discord. Okay. But you did give me the TE permission to use what my impression of you was before we met. So I am allowed to do that, guys. So first of all, I think the way I came across her was when I first joined the Facebook community back in like June or something like that, or May or something like that.
Oh, can I add one more thing? Because I saw you on Facebook way before I joined Discord. And I just thought, sure. What's with that profile picture? Like, dude looks like a what are those yearbook picture from the 80s? That's
Minna, what kind of fucking drag is this? We're not even like 10 minutes in.
I'm just saying. You asked my first impression. I thought, wow, Reginald that's a name, and then next was that's an old ass picture.
Guys, I need help with the SF, okay? I'm trying.
Darling, that's what you have me for.
Thank you.
I will help you. Don't worry.
I appreciate that.
I got you. Anyhow, okay. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Please carry on.
Okay, so I'm being dragged 10 minutes in. This is going to be a good episode. Now, pre-meeting her on Discord, I don't remember seeing you ever on the Facebook. You kind of were just not there. I've heard, I would see people mention you in a weird way, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the way I came across you was, when people are new and they're trying to find as much information as possible, I think eventually I came across your videos, right? I think there were 2 videos that were still up. There was a play versus sleep and then a blast one or something like that. Mm. So I remember watching those. I remember watching the play one multiple times, and I was like, oh yeah, she's super attractive. I'm sorry. You guys already know this is I have a problem with the SF. I have to call it as it is. Oh yeah, she's super attractive. So I'm going to listen now. Okay. So yeah. So but then when I did listen, I think I remember listening to the play versus sleep one, and you had this diagram of like a circle, and then it was like the play was like a bunch of arrows outward, and then the sleep was like a
No, it's
inwards.
kind of a loop, ping, back, ping, back.
Yeah.
To all directions, if I recall. Yeah.
Exactly. And I remember like looking at that, and I was like, oh wow, this is way simpler than what Dave and Shannon are talking about. I remember thinking that. So, and I think that first impression is a lasting impression I've had of you. Is you do simplify a lot of things for me, right? I know, like your type. You're not supposed to be that way, but I'm gonna keep it 100. You simplify a lot of things in my life, which I'm very grateful for, right? So, but I think that's just part of your communication style, you know. Now, so that's first impressions. So we got that out the way. So my SI is satisfied. Mina, I'm gonna keep it real with you. This is one of those. I think you're gonna be one of the episodes where the structure is just gonna be. We're just gonna talk because I'm over it. I'm officially over it. I don't like talking about type too much. It's just, you know. I know people are probably gonna have their questions or whatever, but it's like she has other interviews, guys. Guys. So Mina, let's actually talk about this. I know when we did our prep way back, we were originally going to talk about OP as a system, right, from a meta. If you're still comfortable talking about that, let's go ahead and start there, and then maybe we can see if we can branch out other places.
Yeah, please throw me some questions. I'm not very good at starting talking without some prompt.
Yeah, sure. So so really, let's. I would say honestly, we would have to start by getting into your perspective of what objective personality as a system is. I know we've had several conversations around this. Like, is it actually objective? I know you've talked about this, but I just want this for the record.
It's not objective at all, but it aims to be a little bit more objective than other typology systems by using what they call double blind method, which is not double blind method. Just for those who are not aware, it's not actually double blind at all. That's not what double blind means. What they're doing, but anyhow, the basic idea of having several people coming to the same conclusion is a good one. Like, it's a big step up from general typology where the subjectivity is on rampant. However, we are still kind of working from the point of view of two people's definitions and respecting their opinion over anything else. And I don't think that counts as objectivity necessarily, because the definitions aren't established enough to create an objective outlook. How can they be objective if nobody else except them can type? Oh, and me, but and a few others. But like the vast majority of people, if it's so hard to learn, you can't create objectivity through that. Because to create objectivity, you need to have simple enough terms or working enough system that basically anyone can take it and use it. Right? OP isn't there yet, at least. And I do have a lot of opinions on this topic, but I don't want to go on this too long.
Sure. Okay. Just as a clarifying question, you said it wasn't double blind. Like, you said that's not what it means. So what does double blind mean again?
Google it. I'm horrible at giving you exact definitions, but basically two people sitting in the cellar and claiming to do something separately doesn't count as double blind.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right, cool. I'll Google it later. Okay, Okay, so now I know so here's the thing. Like, you're like, I don't want to talk about this too much. I know during some of our conversations you've described OP as like a business, and they're shifting more towards what other personality systems are doing. I don't know if you want to like elaborate on that a little bit.
Currently, yes, because if you think about where OP started, it started as like, we want to go to science, we want to make this actual scientific tool to use. And over time, it has shifted more on the side of kind of not just because the science route is immensely difficult. I think their goal has shifted a little bit, and it's now more still probably going to be used for the benefit of people. I'm not saying that. I'm not disagreeing with that, but it is not going to be strictly scientific tool to be used. So it's just too hard to do with the current kind of, and in a sense, because now they are running out of topics, they're running out of content, they end up giving more and more anecdotal information, which by definition ends up bringing them closer to the other typology systems. That might be a temporary thing, but currently that's the direction that I'm seeing, which is fine. It's just not what it originally marketed itself as.
Yeah.
It's getting less and less science-oriented over time. It will be interesting to see if that direction changes, though.
Okay. Okay, one thing I want to ask you is, so even if, so let's say best case scenario, they do end up making a genuinely objective system, right, of typology.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that realistically becoming like an SF thing? Or is that just...
No.
Okay.
So. I don't think it will ever be as big as some people think it will.
Okay.
It might escape the typology niche, but that would take a lot of rebranding.
Okay.
Because right now it's way too attached to the Jungian psychology and typology, which has very poor reputation in most parts of society. But no, I don't think it will be something like that every household name. No, it's not going to be a household name. It's still, it might become closer to some of the more popular personality tools out there, but it probably won't be as huge as it sometimes is expected to be by certain people.
Okay, like myself, you can drag me. It's okay.
I don't know. Here's the thing. What do I know? I might be wrong. It's just me guessing. Yeah. Like, even if it was to become actually a thing that will kind of invade the world, it will take decades. Yeah. It's just right now, yes, we are living the golden age of self-growth and different systems that claim to help you be a better version of yourself. There's very little proof of any of this shit working, though. So it will be interesting to see where the whole trend of self-growth and self-development as businesses and as phenomena will end up over the years. Okay. Okay. I have no way of predicting that, but I'll do my best with my limited ability.
Right. Yeah. So, because I mean, the reason I bring that up, just to share my FI 1%, is like, so for me, I definitely got enamored by really Dave's like proposed vision of what OP is going to be, right? Like, you know, he talks about it's going to be this big, like he eventually wants it. Like, I think his end game was, he's like, I eventually want this to be a part of like textbooks, like children read, like in 70 years from now or whatever. Like you have like these, he talks about like having these shops or these stores across the world with like car mechanic shops and things like that, and like working with big data with Facebook and working with the CIA and all this stuff. To a degree, it's grandiose. I get that, but like, it's still pretty cool to me. So I was like, I wonder, like, for let me ask you this, like, so for people like me who may be kind of enamored by that vision, it's like, is this kind of one of those things where you're like, hey, jump out, or like?
No, I think it's more like just I am realist to a bone. Like it's very hard for me to see that it would really be that big of a deal. It might, parts of these goals that Dave has spread around might work out. CIA thing and FBI, no, not going to happen. But there are certain things, like maybe it will get bigger. Maybe there will be some sort of workshops around and all that. Might be not impossible at all. But then there is aspects of it which go a little bit like okay, that's a little bit unrealistic.
Okay.
So it's not one or the other. It's a mix of things, as most things are.
Right. Okay. I tried. My FI just needed to know. They're like, is there a way? Okay. So one thing I do feel like I want to like at least ask you about while you're here. So you're really good at typing.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah.
Apparently. How did that happen? Like, I'm still struggling. Like, not that I care too much, but
Well, you just get obsessed with something. You do everything you can to get better at it. So you sit 80 hours a week consuming shit that many other people consider to be a drag. You go to all already typed people, you compare, you take notes, then you type. Whenever you get something wrong, you write down what you got wrong, you compare again, you shift your methods depending on what works, and eventually you'll get there. Although I do have to say that this is a very common question, and it is unfair to expect that someone who has never spent time learning to read people will get the same results as I did as quickly as I did. Because I did a lot of people reading way before OP existed. Due to the fact that my natural ability to read people is absolute pure zero. So I realized around the time of 18 or something that I have no idea what's going on in the social environment. I can't read people. I see nothing. There's nothing there. So, and I came to the conclusion that unless I fix that, I'm going to be fucking screwed. So I started learning, and over time I got very proficient at it. A bit too good at it even.
Yeah.
To the point that I can read things that I probably shouldn't be able to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've
then I
been
needed to
mentoring
tone
me.
it down.
Yeah, and you've been mentoring me with that to like informally, which I'm grateful for as well. Like, because look, I have fucking problems. It's like sometimes like, yo, what is this? So I'll like bring it to you. Now we don't always use OP terms, but I can. I mean, you definitely will be like, okay, like I don't want to like overblast and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like I think one of the things you taught me recently is like, look, you have to look behind the sensory, right? You're like, what are the core, like the underlying motivations? Like, why would someone be motivated to do this?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if you simplify it, it's really not all that complicated. Vast majority of the time, people don't know why they're doing things the way they do, or why they're saying things the way they do. It's not conscious, it's not meant to be, but there is a lot of cues behind all these things that people say or do, and how they choose to phrase things, how they choose to go about things in general. You can use several methods. One is tracking what they do consistently, what they actually do versus what they say. Other one is actually just reading behind the lines, kind of a not necessarily literally reading, but when you're listening to someone, you can check their body language, their facial expressions, their micro expressions. There's a lot to observe. In other words, you very patiently and passively observe and eventually draw conclusions. That's how it works.
Okay. Do you feel like this skill that you've developed, like, do you feel like that's giving you insight into yourself? Because like, do you now see some of the motivations behind what you do, or?
Well, I've always been a stupidly simple person. Like with me, what I say is what I mean, and it's really not complicated at all. My brain is fucking made of pipe. It's a straight line. There's like it's from A to B and no tangents whatsoever. So I don't know, but it kind of a similar kind of method can be used with your emotional kind of learning to deal with your own emotions, because over time I started kind of using the similar passive mode of observing my own emotional states and body sensations, and by that method I've been able to analyze my feelings and then find calm with them, and kind of like there is a person who knows me pretty well recently made an observation that whenever I'm having a strong emotional state, I'm like, I had a feeling, interesting, and then I carry on.
Yeah, you do
So
that.
a lot of it is kind of passively just kind of observing what's going on in me. So yeah, I guess it is in essence a very similar kind of state.
No wonder I'm not good at that shit. I don't. I
It
don't do
takes
that either way.
practice. You can't just suddenly expect you to get all detached and removed from things. It takes a lot of
Yeah.
practice, darling.
Yeah. I look. I probably do need to practice that because yeah, I have a hard time with people a lot. So,
Yeah.
um,
But think about it this way: if I started practicing reading people when I was 18 and I'm now 30, that's 12 fucking years, Reggie.
right, right. Yeah, that's probably true. Okay, really good. So I think the OP stuff. I mean, I've talked to you about this so many times. Like, it's one of those things where. Well, actually, let me ask you this because I don't think I remember where you stand on this. So forgive me if you've told me this, but where do you stand in terms of? Because I know you said OP is not like super objective, but you've been typed, right? Like,
Yeah.
where do you stand with your OP type? Like, is it something you actually reference? Is it something you see in yourself? Like,
Yeah, I see it, and the general patterns are accurate enough. And I don't agree with all parts of it, but then again, people are individuals beyond type, right? It's
right,
a because I'm not one of those people who believes that type is genetic and you're just bound by your type. I do think, yeah, if type is a thing, then there is underlying causes for it, sure. Some of it might be genetic, some of it might not, and but then there is overlapping layers of us, our experiences, our culture, our choices, our values, so many things that make us us, which is why you see such a huge differences between type twins, as an example. Like, I happen to be a person who, yes, in many ways I resemble my type twins, and then in a lot of ways I do not. So, how much of that is cultural? I don't know. How much of it is language? The fact that I'm fucking demon English? I don't know. Like, it's a, but yeah, it adds up well enough, and I get it. But like, my typing came down to the math. It was never like, okay, you're absolutely this type. It was like, okay, this is the only available option left, and it works well enough. I can see, like, I already knew I was Savior ST. I knew I was masculine DE.
yeah.
So
Which parts do you disagree? Which parts are not disagree with, but which parts are you like debating?
I don't really debate anything. It's just that I think it's close enough, and I don't really see what else would
Okay,
make sense.
okay.
Like, I get it. Sometimes I've been challenged on whether I'm actually play first or not, and I see why people feel that way. But just math set the with the limitations of the system, this is the best pit
Right.
because it is just the system. It's just the abstract framework to categorize traits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So based on that categorization, I am that type.
Okay.
Does it mean that I am exactly the same as every single SCT out there? Probably not.
Okay.
Besides, there's so many FCTs, there's bound to be some variety.
Yeah. Okay. So, now I got to go into OP. I feel I wasn't gonna do it. I got to do it now. I need to know. There's some. I need
It's
to know some things
okay.
for myself. Okay. So guys, you got lucky today because I was really wasn't trying to do this, but you guys got lucky. So we're gonna go into a little bit. Okay. If you guys have questions, sure, whatever. But I'm asking my questions. So the biggest questions then is one. Well, there's several that are relevant to me right now. So one would be SF, right? What is that for you? Like, what do you think? What does SF mean to you? How do you experience that?
To
Um,
me personally,
yes.
from the perspective of type or in general?
Um, what's the difference? What do you mean? Like,
Because there is the SE SF, which is different from SE
oh,
SF. So the
okay.
general SF would be more on the line of SE I think. And I'm not very I don't really get that realm all that well. I have some
Yeah.
attachment to it,
So
but not much.
so talk to me about your SF. I'm curious about that.
I don't know what. Can you specify? I'm
Like,
stupid. Can
okay,
you
now I got
specify?
to be separate. Okay. First of all, when I say that, what do you like? How are you processing it? What do you think I mean by that when I say your SF?
Well, then it would be my SCFI, which is I want new experiences or new things that I like and enjoy.
Okay. Can you give me some sensory examples of that?
Well, as an example, you would be an SCFI thing for me. You say things that I find interesting and thus I enjoy your company. You're part of my SF. Also, me looking good would be my SF because I like being pretty and cute. And or me trying to act chill and cool would be part of my SF because that's how I want people to see me. Or my cats are part of my SF. They're not just part of my aesthetic and a big part of what I talk about and how I present myself. I talk about my cats a lot, but also they're also in my NF. Sometimes the NF and SF overlap.
Okay. So
Or
just yeah.
or the fact that I need to have exactly this pillow or exactly that turquoise. That's also my SF.
Okay.
Then there's the other aspect of SF when what I do consume, which is all the media that I consume, which is a lot.
Which is a lot. Okay. So just to clarify, because this is actually something interesting to me, is because you mentioned you act a certain way and you categorize that as SF. Like, do you think in terms of like this is gonna be cool if I do this or whatever?
I used to,
Okay.
yeah.
I absolutely don't.
Not anymore because now I kind of the role is set.
Yeah.
But this is not going to be strictly SF. It's in general it ties up with the identity building, the NIFI. Okay, I create the kind of roles and certain kind of profiles that I want to use in certain situations, and how I do I come across, and certain things in the SF then support that image.
So okay, wait now. Okay, because you know my SF's not that good. Okay, I'm lucky because I'm attractive. That's literally all I have. I don't like.
Are you though? Are you attractive?
Mina,
Are you sure about that?
I was about to say, what kind of drag is this? I know myself. I've accepted.
Also, can you appreciate?
Yeah, what is that? Oh, nice.
You know, it's as good as it looks. That's for you, Reggie.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
I'm in a nice mood today.
thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, like so for me it's like the SF super hard. Like so for example, I'll give you an example. Like I'm trying to do the whole game night thing. I'm like I have a fascination with marketing, but it's like I feel like every time I put out a post, it just feels not SF to me. I'm like, how do I do this? You know?
Well, do something what you would like to do and see. It's really simple, really. If someone else was doing a game night, what kind of post would draw you in?
Oh. Okay.
And then there you can go and ask some super SCFE person how they actually do the whole thing.
Yeah,
but
which I've
like yeah.
Yeah. Wow, okay. That was super easy. Okay, so I'll probably do that. I'll probably take some notes later. Yeah, so that's interesting. Like just do things that I want, but yeah, I rarely do that. Like even this podcast, I'm struggling to do that. Like it's like, you know, I don't know what that is. So I guess for me, and this would maybe be a good transition for me, it's like, do you experience something similar with I guess the NT? Do you feel like you're confused by the NT sometimes?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But it only if I haven't spent enough time actually processing it. Once I have the NT in place, then it's there and I'm fine. Just need to give you enough time and process it enough. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes a few hours, sometimes it takes years.
Okay. Do you
on
like
the thing and how big it is?
Oh, good.
Sorry?
No, good.
What was that?
No, I was gonna say like, so given the fact that your NT is like NI related, like, do you come up with like your own theories on stuff or no? I don't think I've ever asked you this.
I sort of do. It's just that you don't often hear them because I don't often share them.
I feel betrayed. Okay, now I gotta know, but we'll table that. All right. So okay. So that's good to know. I think that's so OP. So the SF is always a concern. Sleep processing. We've talked that in private to death. Like I don't need to hear that again. Um, but what I will ask is, okay, no, this is important to me. So one of the things that you've helped me with is surprisingly the FI. Now in the system, you're double activated on the FI, so it's not 100% a surprise. But your FI message to me has been very different than a lot of other people's.
Oh,
Where yes, because for you, yours is like you need to like fully accept yourself. Is kind of that's how I would
yes.
summarize your message. Like how did you come to that? Like honestly.
Well, I where to start? For those who know OP, blasting is hard. Um, well, I come from a very critical environment where I never did anything right and nothing was ever good enough. And so, in a sense, I understand as an example, OP is kind of very bent on you need to achieve things in reality and only then it matters as growth. And I get it. I get that. But that's kind of assuming that people think they're better than they actually are. They're kind of forgetting that vast majority of people are pretty fucking insecure and have a lot of pressure dealing with the world and expectations that our society puts on us. So, and I was definitely one of those people. Like, I'm a chronic failure. I have failed absolutely everything I've ever tried in my life. I'm very good at failing. And considering that there was a lot of very high expectations of me, despite the constant criticism I got, I kind of went very deep down all the time. And once I finally started climbing up, I came to the conclusion that I cannot truly grow and become a better version of myself unless I fully embrace and accept my flaws, or the things that I consider as flaws. And then you need to, what I needed to do at least was to kind of go through all these things one by one. Is this something that bothers me, or is it just something that other people have given me? There is also that difference. And in the end, when you can accept yourself as your base self, then you can start working on top of that foundation. You can't build an identity on the shaky foundation. It's just going to collapse. So if you want to build a castle, you need to do the foundation well. And after that, you can start building one brick at a time, the fantasy castle that you want to have, right?
Yeah.
And I do think that accepting your base self and just, because there is nothing wrong with who you are. No matter how awful you were and how badly you behaved, it is still you, and there is inherent value to being alive and being you. And it should be appreciated. And with that, you have the confidence that, hey, no matter what, how much I screw up, how much shit happens, or how horrible things I do, I still matter. And from that, you can then start building layers on top.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm there yet, but it's been on the works for a very, very long time.
Yeah. So I'm struggling with that, as you know. Right. We've
Yeah.
discussed. I guess
In
my
in
question, yeah.
in the sense, if you think about, if you can't accept your flaws and calmly observe them and live with them, you're always going to act from a place of fear. And fear then again causes its own set of problems. You might do a lot of very reckless decisions in attempt to avoid that discomfort.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm being very scattered today, but I'll try.
I know, me too. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Same. Now, I guess for me, this is guys. This is my therapy hour. It's over. Like, I'm getting there. Yeah. So for me, I've been struggling with that a lot, right? So I would say, I guess if you can you like describe like I don't know if you remember like when you first started this process, like what was that like for you? Like the beginning of it.
Well, the thing is that I started. Well, I'm just gonna be straight up. So I tried to kill myself due to long-lasting mental issues and life problems that I had had, and I was in a psychic ward for a week, and there I was sitting and thinking about my life, and I was like, okay, so I can't change my circumstances; they are what they are. But what can I change if I decide not to die? How can I get through that? And I came up with a plan to create a kind of a idealized version of myself over time, a kind of a blueprint of who I want to be. And then I started taking steps one step at a time. And every time there was a still point, then you'd process and deal with that. And then you move to the next thing. And it's just consistent work on a daily basis. Every single thing you do needs to reflect the person you want to be. And sometimes you need to do a lot of groundwork to reach that. So it was immensely boring, a lot of crying, a lot of this is never going to work, I suck, I'm awful, and I'm going to fail. But over time, it gets easier. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
You just need to keep going.
Yeah.
There is you can, basically for me, it was just like, so do I die off or do I start living the kind of a life that leads me to the person who I want to be?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's almost like an ultimatum that pushed you
Yeah, but
in
I
some.
guess I don't think the ultimatum was ever real. I created the ultimatum. Like this is either this or that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like sure I could have just stayed the same and hoped that things get better, but I had done that in the past and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Things never got better. So I came to the conclusion that I will have to keep trying until something works.
Right.
Like statistically, at some point, something will have to go right.
Right.
And if I keep adjusting accordingly, if I keep on track, keep tracking what I'm doing and which things work better and which things make me better and feel better over time, then eventually I will get there. Also, I will have to add that this development was immensely slow at first due to the fact that I was in a very dysfunctional relationship at the time, which then again had caused a lot of more stress. It's harder to work on yourself. Once I broke up from that, I stayed single for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And isolated myself from most people and most interactions. Shout out to Eric and Bar and Sherry and all the people who were actually with me at that time online, and I'm immensely grateful of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's important. We'll talk offline, but like, I think I've told you this. It's like I'm going through a very similar like similar issue. Like I'm going to therapy partially because I'm also dealing with similar thoughts. So, but okay. But I think that's important. Like framing it, because like you said, I mean, it's somewhat arbitrary, but framing the growth, even the slow growth, in that almost black and white way, kind of makes it easier. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's not real, but a lot of things that help you aren't real.
Well, yeah, like OP, right? Yeah.
As an example.
Yeah, as an example. Okay, good. Okay. So FI, that makes a lot of sense to me now. Um, Let me actually ask you this about FI though, because we had a conversation the other day. So yes, you're building this acceptance. So there's an element of that. But I think yesterday even, you were telling me something about FI that I didn't realize, or at least demon FI that I didn't realize. You were like, people with demon FI can tell you about what they don't like, but they won't tell you what they like. I was like, that's so fucking true.
Yeah, happens often.
Yeah.
It's just I do think it feels more vulnerable to let people into what you actually like because when people criticize it, it hurts you because it's tied to your identity, and your identity is a demon. And I think especially for feminine FI demon, it's extra hard because it's so movable. But yeah, it often happens.
Yeah. I
do know a lot of savior FI people who also struggle to share their FI, just because if people do criticize it, it actually hurts because it is tied to their identity. So I think it just makes sense.
Yeah, so yeah, I think all of my fake FI antics they're fake. Cause like I'll tell you I fucking don't like you. That's very easy for me. Like, so for example, I've been saying this since the beginning of this podcast. When I joined the Facebook community, I didn't like 90% of those people. I'm trying to tell you. I was like, guys, I'm over it. But yeah, like who I actually like, yeah, it's painful.
Because those people might reject you, those people might criticize you, they might judge you. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Unless your FI is strong enough to withstand that.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's a practice thing too, right?
Yeah. And then the more you do it, the easier it gets. Oh, don't get me wrong. When I'm in a love affair, still I'm a fucking 4-year-old with my emotional life. So it's you just don't see it.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. So okay, so let me ask this. I don't know if this is getting into the NI territory, but like, have you found? Yeah, I guess it is. Have you found any patterns of what you like? Like, are there general trends in what you tend to like? Yeah.
You're asking so big questions. Can you narrow it down for me? It's just a minute.
How else?
Like what kind of like liking like things or people? Like, give me a category.
Let's start with the easy one. Let's start with things. Let's start with actually entertainment. Let's start with the easy one. Have you found general?
Okay, yeah. I generally I like fantasy and sci-fi. I like fantastical stuff.
Okay.
Easy. I like analysis. I watch a lot of media and political analysis videos and stuff like that. I watch hell of a lot of documentaries, especially about history and certain science topics. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, now you're putting me on the spot to do the SI. Okay, so now let's do people. What are the common FI trends in people that you like?
I like funny, kind, and well, yeah, like humorous and kind seem to be very, very consistent themes in people.
Okay.
I like people who are smarter than I am or intelligent in different areas of life where I am.
Okay.
I find it fascinating. I also like people who are just generally very different from myself. I do find that fascinating and interesting.
Okay.
In short, I like things that I don't quite understand or comprehend, and then I observe them, and I'm having a time of my life.
There you go. See, was that hard?
And I no, not really. And I also like I spent a year with only consume lasts just to observe them and learn from them, and I have no regrets. Great people.
Nice. Interesting. Okay, really good. So I think that's all. Oh no, last question from the OP side, and then I'm fucking over it. We got to talk about the masculine DE. You got to do it.
Oh.
This has to happen. Because here's my thing with masculine DE, okay? I genuinely like them. I don't know where this stereotype is coming from of they're always angry. I don't even know where this comes. Like some fucking barbarian is like the image they have in their head. I don't know where this is coming from. So this is my FI. I like masculine.
Reggie. Haven't you yet noticed that I'm the Karen? Can't you see my Karen hair?
Yeah.
Is it not visible on camera?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You've never Karened out on me. I know it's a joke. Don't even put that sign up. I'm over it. But look, masculine DE is cool to me but okay. We've had this is a serious. This is where it gets serious. If you want to put that sign up again, whatever. I know that there are a lot of people in the community that have like a weird bias against masculine. I don't. Matter of fact, let me stop rambling. I don't think people understand masculine DE straight up. I'm gonna keep it real. So can you like describe your? Let's describe your experience of your masculine DE as well as your observations of other people with masculine DE. Like, is that narrow enough? Do I need to know that?
No, I think it's fine.
Right.
In short, it is a lot of. I am going to generalize here, and there are probably going to be masculine DE people who don't agree with me on this.
Okay.
The thing is that we are very kind of weak and gushy and movable and touchy in a way with our internal experience of ourselves and how we feel with other people. So in a sense, imagine if you had a very fragile identity. You had a very kind of a easily, like it just feels like you are out there naked with no armor and people are shooting arrows at you.
Mm-hmm.
So you build this very hard exterior and punchiness. The kind of attack is the best defense kind of method. So it's not necessarily a conscious decision to do so, but you end up building these walls and distancing yourself from people to hide and control that movable center. Basically, I think about it this way: if your core is made of mercury, then you need something like iron to hold it in place, right? To make sure that it doesn't spill all over. So that's my experience of being the masculine DE. So in sense, someone says something that really gets to my feelings. It hurts me. It's and because if you are savior tribe, you're going to be prone to listen to the tribe, right? So if enough people tell me a certain thing, it becomes part of my identity. So to protect myself, I keep my walls high, and when people hurt me badly enough, I punch back. And it's a kind of just a self-defense mechanism like any other.
Yeah. Yeah. Masculine DE is still cool though. That's my if I can't help it.
I'm just gonna say sometimes it comes in handy. It can be immensely useful to have, especially when you learn to control it and you don't punch too hard, but you punch enough that it's visible. Like when you balance it out nicely in a very good day, when you're in a very balanced state and you just decide, okay, now I'm allowed to punch. This is the right time, and you make a targeted attack. Yeah, it feels so good. I'm not denying it. It feels good sometimes.
Savage. I don't relate to that. I am not. I wish I were more direct, more consistently. I mean, I should practice. I mean, I need to practice that. If I'm being quite honest, when I attack, it's too late for you. It's not even for your own well-being at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's truly a masculine DI. Like I'm coming for your life, and I feel bad when I do that because I'm like, why? You know?
Then stop doing it.
I'm trying. I don't know. I'm trying to like find the balance.
You need to take responsibility of your emotions before you have that reaction. You need to start observing your reactions and feelings in the moment and slightly after, and process them accordingly, and thus you can avoid that. Do you think I don't feel like punching people in the face all the time? Hell yeah. People hurt my feelings all the time without realizing it.
Yeah.
The difference is that I go sit by myself for an hour and listen to music and think about myself and my life and how stupid I am with my feelings.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll work on it, guys. I know. Anyway, I'm not even gonna bring that up, but I'll deal with it. So okay. So
you have the rest of your life. No worries. You don't need to be finished when you're 26. Imagine how boring life would be if that was the case.
No, it would not be boring. I'd be better than everybody for the rest of my life.
Sounds like lies.
Keeping it real. I don't tell you. I'm a very self-absorbed person. So I'm gonna keep it real, Minna. I'm gonna go through the live chat. If you guys had questions or comments, I'm reading them out to her. So I'm your interpreter now, and then I'm over it. Okay. First of all, Grace says hi. Grace says hi.
Hi, Grace.
Grace said she's first. So apparently we need to pay attention to that. Amelie also said hi. She's second. Okay. So that's what happened. There's also an Andrew and Eric. We already know about Eric's situation. Okay. Let's see here. There's a bunch of people. Kevin, Anissa. Oh, hey, Anissa. All right. So I'm looking for actual questions, guys. Oh, yeah. Grace says you're a savage. Okay. She did say you're a savage. We were over that. There's some definitions about double blind. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll Google it later. Eric asks if feminine visual SE play consume sleep is not the best type. He's trying to throw shade at you.
No, but for you, Eric, it's definitely the best type. For you, you know what I mean.
Oh, the disrespect.
He's dating my exact type.
Yeah, I'm aware. Don't gossip to TE, guys. I'm trying to tell you. I told you this.
No, we're not the best type. We are not the best type, just the prettiest. So.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Okay, let me see here. Oh, there is a question. Finally. Okay, so this is from Nikki. Okay, hi Nikki.
Okay.
This is for you. How can you tell someone's underlying motivations? Can you give examples illustrating it? I know. Would you recommend some book we could consume to understand how to read people?
Fuck your books. Fuck your books. No, that's most of it is bullshit. When you're all the vast majority of the how to read people content online or in books, it's just crap. It's not good. So just what you do is that you sit with people, you ask them questions, and you observe. So you create your own framework instead. You learn when you talk with people enough, you pay very careful attention. You learn to read their body language, their expressions, their tone of voice, everything. And then you ask what they're actually going through. You need to have a certain level of closeness with the person to do that. So, but sometimes you can just explain that, hey, I'm trying to understand you, whatever. You do it in a calm place. People are usually pretty open to it. And over time, these patterns emerge on their own. So over time, you will learn to hear certain things and see certain things. It's very hard to explain because it's so much about the vibe. It's not actually something that one person, that everybody, when they do this exact thing, that means that. You need to have a baseline of the person. You need to know the person well enough to actually kind of, there are certain things that you can kind of generalize, but often people have very different ways to express their feelings and what's going on in them. So it all comes down to how much effort do you put in, how interested are you truly understanding the person. And if you're truly motivated to understand a person, you learn to read them relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, you can see Reggie is there. He seems calm, but if you pay attention, his eyebrows are raising a little bit. He's a little bit like just you can see what the fuck that is going on in his head.
What? Oh my god! That
he wanted an example. I gave an example.
I'm laughing partially because you're right, but partially I'm like that would actually be a really great way to type someone. Like you have me talk and then Minna would like comment. That'd be really cool. But anyway, it's by any guys. But okay, Amelie wants to know if I can interview your cats on the show.
They're already here. They're just
like
a little bit sleepy right now.
Directly to them next time. They want an episode exclusively about. Is that Shani?
That's Shani.
Oh, okay. So Shani's looking away. I don't know about it.
Shani is the best ginger boy ever.
I didn't know you had two cats.
I do have two cats. This is Shani, and the fluff ball over there is Jallo.
Jallo, okay, interesting. So, okay. Shani's the problem child. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Shani's the one I yell at.
I'm actually half curious. I think that'd be pretty funny as a gag. We might set that up, Amelie, actually. So thank you for the any. I got you. Okay. Okay, that's it. This is gonna be a shorter episode because I'm already over it. I have to sleep process. You already know my FI is not in like the best place today, so I'll deal with that. But guys,
Well, you can always have me again if you feel like it. You know.
Yeah. If you'd be interested, then I could ask Shani some questions.
Yes, Shani has a lot to say, much more than I do. He's way smarter than me.
Yeah, that's why you guys are friends. Okay, good. So, guys, Minna, you can check the hell out. I forgive you. I'm just gonna blast the same thing I said at the beginning. Okay.
No, I'll stay. It's fine.
So, guys, you saw how I didn't talk a lot of functions with Minna. You know I don't give a fuck about that stuff, right? You know this. However, Minna has I think you have at least one interview with I think it was Benjamin, right? Am I correct on that? All right, well, I guess I'll just blast you guys. I don't know what happened to her. I might think her phone died. It's okay. Whatever. You guys can check the hell out. I know you guys were here for Minna. She has other interviews, guys. If you guys want to get more in depth into all her functions and all that cute stuff, go somewhere else, please. I don't have the energy for that. Okay. Benjamin, ENFP male, those are great guys. Okay. And I'm sure I think Minna's done one with Benjamin. So go ahead and look for that. She gets into the NE or the NI and all that fun stuff. Next, game night is coming out, guys. I don't know what to tell you. If nothing else, here's Minna. If nothing else, Minna's probably going to be there. So welcome back, Minna.
Where am I going to be?
Telling at game night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll try.
Yeah, she'll try.
I'm a very sore loser too, so you guys are going to have a lot of fun at my expense. So
exactly. So come join us February 6th, Saturday. Reach out. Minna was being disrespectful and saying just go to Facebook. You could do that. I'm trying to be nice. You can message me and I'll get you.
Just remember, Reggie is the nicest person and I'm the asshole. So
there you go. So Facebook or message me. That is going to be a really fun thing. You guys already know you can still catch hands in Smash Brothers. I don't need to repeat that. I already see your comment in the chat, Eric. Don't disrespect yourself like this. Have more respect for yourself. Unless, here's the thing. If you want to get disrespected and if you want to get bodied, feel free to send your friend code or come message me and we'll set that up. All right. Next, and this is probably most important. I went through a little FI meltdown the other day. You already know this. But if we're being real, I don't give a fuck about thumbs downs at the end of the day. We already know this. Clearly, I don't give a fuck. So if you don't like this, put a thumbs down and tell everybody Reggie sucks and he's the worst person on earth. That's more publicity for me, if we're being real. It's a win-win for me. But if you like it, put a thumbs up, okay, and leave a comment. I read all my comments. And then if you like this, feel free to subscribe. Oh, Minna, I forgot to mention. Minna is my marketing person, okay? She's in my FI, but she's going to be my marketing person. She's going to get that fucking ugly yearbook picture out of here. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, she knows what she's doing, okay? She's the one who actually... And let me actually give you some validation real quick. I know you're going to throw it away. Minna is the one who came up with the new name, okay? It's called RegiCast because of her, okay?
Yeah, we're also working on a logo and intro logo and stuff like that, but I'm a bit slow. Give me a while. I'll get there. It's going to be good.
So guys, don't be disrespectful to Minna. Just subscribe, okay? If you want to start seeing those cool don't be disrespectful to her, okay? I'm going to come find you, all right? Okay. And then also, one last thing. For all of you people who will skip around and demon consume or whatever the fuck your excuse is, and you just skip around random videos to find what you like, I'm going to help you, okay? I'm putting timestamps eventually on all my videos. It's exhausting. You know it's SI. I fucking hate SI, but I'm going to do it for you, okay? That's what I'm going to do. Now,
let me know if you need help with that, by the way. I have nothing but time right now, so.
Thank you. But here's the thing. My structure is I go from most viewed to least viewed, okay? I'm sorry. So if you want Minna to get timestamps earlier, watch it a lot. Click it on it a lot. Even if you're not watching it, just put just get it up the algorithm for me, okay? Thank you. So then that is the incentive to put the timestamps on it. Like, I'm not just gonna do this for free. I'm sorry. Okay, it's not my style. So just watch it a lot, and that's when you're gonna get the timestamps. I'm still working on Rose's episode. It's taking me a little bit because I'm trying to process just where the transitions are. But that's coming out pretty soon, and then we're gonna keep going. So that's it. This was a shorter episode. I'm sure you guys like that because I know you guys have a life. But Minna, I really appreciate it. You already know I appreciate it. Okay.
I know. I know. Love you too, Reggie.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys in the live chat. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care, guys.
Bye.